White House lights disappeared, the floodlights on the lawn were no more, and the stately residence of the President of the United States of America was plunged into darkness. The glow started to fade, the night sky now taking on the appearance of the bruised eye of a heavyweight boxer, before it gradually became black once more. The co-conspirators removed their protective eyewear. They had delivered a form of vengeance like no other the modern world had ever seen, and ignoring ancient fanciful tales of vengeful gods, the single most powerful. Olenyuk put his arm around Jan. "We have done it." She did not reply. However, she did give him a sideways glance. Olenyuk quickly moved his arm. "I'm sorry. I was overcome with emotion in the moment. I do apologize." "It is understandable, given the circumstances." They continued to gaze at the capital city of the United States, dark, silent, but not dead. The majority of the population was safely asleep, and those who weren't would interpret the loss of power as a citywide outage, a total blackout. Chapter 1. 2 days earlier. Camden, Maine, United States. The assassin was Russian, one of their best. He had to be to make the shot. His hide was in an elevated position on a hill, half a click away from the target. It was the closest he was prepared to go, given the timescale and his schedule. 3 targets to hit in 3 consecutive days. A reckless order in the Russian army, and certainly an unheard-of contract on the private circuit. But he was the best, and he had accepted, and he was now on target number 2. The ever-changing eddies and the elevation made the shot challenging. It was a job for a 2-man team, a shooter and a spotter, but the assassin had always preferred to work alone. The assassin was not acquainted with failure. This was something that simply did not enter his thought process. Preparing to fail started with a failure to prepare, and Ruslan Akulov never failed to prepare. His target was on time. He tracked him in his crosshairs. The man exited the rear of the house through a pair of double-height patio doors, sipping his Pinot Gris, blissfully unaware of the Russian's presence. Retired Senator Clifford Piper lived in a sprawling mansion overlooking the town of Camden, Maine. The deck where he stood now, and would soon fall upon, commanded panoramic views of the harbour, West Penobscot Bay, and the Evergreen Islands. Akulov had seen mansions before, castle-like homes constructed for the rich and corrupt, which dotted the outskirts of Moscow like mushrooms, while the rest of the population lived in shacks or high-rise concrete boxes. Never before, however, had he encountered one in a setting as spectacular as this. He agreed the panorama was impressive, but the man was not. He knew all about Piper. He hated him. As a senator, Piper had preached his own brand of American imperialism, damning all those who dared speak out against Uncle Sam. He was a hawk, voraciously attacking Venezuela, North Korea, Russia, and China. He threw his words like missiles from the safety of Washington, a coward who would not dare repeat his slurs in the face of the enemy. But had he been punished for the innumerable deaths his rhetoric had caused, or the hatred his words had incited? No. The senator had been allowed to retire to his mansion and his $3 million view. Not bad for a dacha, or as the Americans called them, vacation properties. The Russian let a sneer form on his face. The property would be vacated soon enough. He had watched his target and knew his routine well. Piper took a glass of wine at 11 o'clock each morning on his deck in order to appreciate his view. Akulov had also enjoyed the vista. The ocean.